On this episode of Food Finds, we're sailing into the Chesapeake Bay to taste some of Baltimore's best, like old-time candied apples that are larger than life, chocolates made with the skill of an artist, and crab cakes featuring prime jumbo lump... What? Wait and see. Angelina's crab cakes, Lisa Ann's toffee apples, and Kirkmeyer chocolates up next on Food Finds from Baltimore. Hi, I'm Sandra Pinckney, and welcome to Food Finds from Baltimore, Maryland, home of American greats like Babe Ruth and the Star-Spangled Banner. But when you mention this beautiful port city, what traditional food comes to mind? Crab cakes. Of course. In fact, the two have become so synonymous, it begs the question, which came first, the city or the crab cake? Perhaps the waters of the Chesapeake Bay hold the answer. For centuries, they've supplied the crabs, while the city has tried to come up with the best crab cake.
There was a time years ago where every corner restaurant in town thought they had crab cakes, but never anything like this.
He's referring to Angelina's crab cakes. Since 1952, this restaurant on the city's north side has been serving what's been recognized as Baltimore's best.
Sweet, nice, flavored just right, seasoned just perfectly.
To make a great crab cake, you have to use the best crab meat. Suppliers like Jack Brooks say blue crab is best.
And they get their name blue crab from the brilliant blue on their claws, on the underside of their claws. And this is unique to the blue crab, Calyctonectus sapidus species that we have here in the Chesapeake Bay.
He says domestic blue crab is preferred over crab from foreign countries because of the way it's handled.
We put no additives or preservatives in the crab meat. We don't wash the crabs, so to wash away any of the flavor or to whiten the meat.
By doing that, the meat retains its yellow color, or mustard as they call it. And while every inch of crab is edible, there's a particular section of meat that's considered prime.
We'll go to the back fin cavity, which are two pieces of back fin in each crab. And that's what they use here at Angelina's, 100% back fin or the lump crab meat.
And in season, Jack delivers a supply of fresh crab meat to Angelina's every day. Bob Bufano and his wife Susan bought the restaurant in the early 1990s. In the transaction, they inherited Angelina's famous crab cake recipe, and they're not the least bit afraid to tell people about it.
I don't know if you know anything about our crab cake, but, you know, we're quite famous for it. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why you're here.
It tastes here is pure jumbo lump of the best crab meat available. And I can tell, because I've had it all over. This is excellent.
In fact, our crab cakes have over 80% crab meat in them and less than 20% of other ingredients. And the other ingredients are just there to hold it together and add some extra flavorings.
Those extra ingredients are fine breadcrumbs, a few seasonings, plus eggs and mayonnaise.
It's a real delicate kind of seafood, and that's what you have to do. And people who don't prepare crab cakes very well usually make the mistake of putting too much filling in there.
And Angelina's crab cakes are big.
It's an 8-ounce. It's very impressive when it comes out. And what happens is the center of that crab cake has that nice white crab meat that's nice and moist. And we always give the customer benefit of the doubt there.
Another constant at Angelina's is their cook for nearly 20 years, Paul Archulese.
We start off with a little bit of butter on each crab cake so they'll brown nicely and evenly. And then we put them up in our broiler, and we're going to leave them there for a couple minutes until they get nice and brown on top.
The honor of eating one of Baltimore's prized crab cakes isn't restricted to local customers. It extends far beyond.
When we ship them out to Colorado, I mean, they get there within the next day. My daughter could open her front door at 9 o'clock and there's crab cakes sitting on wood. And they're just as good.
That's because Angelina's crab cakes are shipped fresh.
We ask our customers to call us a few days before they want to get their crab cakes, and then the morning that we ship them out, we prepare them fresh that morning, either broiled or fried, and then we pack them up like I'm doing now and ship them out, and they're shipped overnight, and the people have them the next day.
Whether you're enjoying them at home or at the restaurant, there's one more step.
I'll take a little bit of butter, just enough to coat the pan. Now on a medium flame, I'll let the butter get hot, and then we're going to transfer the crab cake into the pan and finish it off. This is to cook the crab cake thoroughly and brown it on the other side, and it'll be ready to serve.
We never found out if it was the city or the crab cake that came first, but at least we learned the difference between a good crab cake and a great one. Angelina says, first of all, the crab meat should be jumbo lump blue crab meat, preferably from the Chesapeake Bay or from the waters along the East Coast. And secondly, there should be very little filling. Now that you know the answer to that, how can you tell if a toffee apple is great? Lisa Ann makes what's considered Baltimore's best. We'll tell you why when Food Finds continues.
Alexis and Jennifer say